All right, guys, can you hear me? Let me know. Give me All right, cool. So, guys, we have a lot in store this week because Capital One has a lot of news that they released this week. They got new lounges, they got new credit cards in the business side. We got new updates, we got downgrades, and sort of like an upgrade to the intro bonus. So, we got to talk about all that. And what else do we have? We have some news about new cards in the buy now, pay later space and in the believe it or not, in the gaming space. So we got all that to get to. And I just want to welcome everybody here. Um, Miss Barton, Danny Boy, I see you, Pixel, JR, Cheryl. Hello to you as well. Alex, thank you guys for bearing with me early on. So we're gonna get to the news. Let's check it out. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Barclays launches new Xbox MasterCard. So, Microsoft owned gaming platform Xbox is debuting its first co branded credit card in the US. The Barclays issued MasterCard will be available on September 21st. So, that's in just a few days now, exclusively to qualified Xbox insiders across the country before becoming open to the general public in the US starting next year. The card comes with a variety of perks like 3 months of Xbox Game Pass, Ultimate for users who make their first purchase within 180 days of opening their account, and 3x card points on certain streaming platforms and dining delivery services. You know, guys, nothing against gamers. You know, I used to game a lot in the past. You're now more of a PC gamer these days, but you know, one to know. I know Xbox is more of the is not the market leader anymore. That's going to be the PS5. So, and I know the PS5 does have their own credit card, I believe. But here's the thing: these cards, these co-branded cards like this, are always so lackluster. You know, when I see 3x card points, that's nothing. You can get a PayPal Mastercard, and and I'm using this a lot, by the way, because it gets 3% cash back anywhere that you see a PayPal button. So guess what? Almost every online store has a PayPal button. So I'm able to get 3% cash back virtually on all online purchases for most intents and purposes. But there's so many other ways you can get. You know, they have the new U.S. bank card that gives you, I think, it's 5 or 6% cash back. These cards are really just aimed at people that maybe they want a Xbox logo on their card, and a lot of people, they just want a card that looks cool. And I know it's hard for us to believe, but people just, they want to see an airplane or a car on their card. It's kind of childish, but they're really missing out. If you burn a 524 slot to sign up for a card like this, um, you need to get your information in order. You gotta get your strategies in place. Um, so yeah, I'm not really feeling this car, and of course, it's through Barclays. And Barclays, I think, Barclays. I'm not sure how well renowned they are in the community. You don't hear about them too much. I know that my Uber card was transferred over to Barclays. I never got the car, by the way. Never got the card that they product changed me into with Barclays when they did that acquisition. But never used the car, and they ended up canceling it on me. I got a $10,000 limit on that card. But listen, I wasn't going to use it anyway. Next, Republican lawmakers. Let me see this headline. Republican lawmaker proposes 18% cap on credit card interest rates. So credit card companies should be barred from setting interest rates higher than 18%. A Republican lawmaker from Missouri proposed Tuesday. If passed, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley's bill, the Capping Credit Card Interest Rate Act, would also block credit card companies from introducing new fees aimed at evading the cap and penalize lenders at annual percentage rates that exceed 18%. Hawley's bill comes as Americans are grappling with record high credit card rates while carrying slightly more than 1 trillion in card debt. The average credit card rate has been inching towards 21% for the past 3 months and was 20.68% as of last week, making it more expensive for consumers to carry balances according to bank rate data. Yeah, it's definitely more expensive. And listen, I haven't saw. I told you guys before. I saw a Capital One. If you look on the Capital One landing page of the Quicksilver card, I believe it's quoting just over 30%. Most of my cards are going to be in between 20 to 30%. So that seems very accurate. Now, you want to note that credit unions, I believe they're capped at 18%, and that's probably where that number comes from. And I wonder, what is so magical about 18% that makes that seem pretty fair? Why not 10%? Um, but if you think that credit card interest rates should be capped, let me know. Do put cap, put the word cap in the comment section if you think that credit card rates should be capped. I think that anytime that you're going to impede upon the credit card industry or the credit card issuer's ability to make money and make profit, what's going to happen? They're going to lower those intro bonuses. They're not going to be, there's not going to be a 750 intro bonus, $750 in value with like a Chase Sapphire Preferred anymore. It's probably going to get lowered down to, just a couple $100. And it's pretty standard to see, these kind of entry level cars like the Chase Freedom lineup, the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited. They're coming with a $200 intro bonus. The Capital One Quicksilver card comes with a $200 intro bonus. So it's pretty standard. I could definitely see that just going away. And we're going to go back to the days of no intro bonus, and maybe you get 1 or 2% cash back, and that'll be the max. Because right now we have such a plethora of rewards that we get, right? We get so many different types of kind of reward structures, 5% rotating categories, you take your pick. But, I'm not sure if, this is going to get through. It's tough to go against the credit card companies, right? I see a lot of caps. There's a lot of capping going on in the comment section. I see you. They hate me. I like that name. They hate me. You always need some haters. All right. So Delta to slash Sky Club access for Amex card holders. All right. And so that's going to change how you earn elite status. All right. So bad news, Delta fans. It's soon going to be a lot harder to access Delta Sky Clubs and earn medallion elite status on the Sky Club side. Those with premium American Express cards will have their lounge access cut from unlimited visits to as few as 6 visits per year, depending on which card they have. These changes take effect on 2025, and the airline will completely change how it awards medallion elite status next year. Starting next year, there will only be one metric, medallion qualifying dollar, and requirements are much higher than what they are today. And to make matters worse, the MQD waiver offered by popular Delta credit cards is going away. So I've seen a lot of movement, a lot of changes going around these lounge access. These must be very complex and very cash intensive uh kind of entities or businesses to run with these sky clubs. I mean, you basically have a restaurant in there, you got a lounge, you got drinks and things like that. So it seems like anytime there's a little bit of change in the economy or in sort of the credit card delinquencies, these changes just start coming down. I mean, we saw recently what Amex is doing with their authorized users. They're charging hundreds of dollars extra for the Amex Platinum authorized users to access the lounge. And a lot of people had some bad things to say about that. It's really hard to see. Just I'm thankful that we're not gonna. This is not the Venturex. The Venturex is not doing this right now. But if they do, I might be looking to downgrade if they did that, something like that. Next, a new risk score is generated. All right, so artificial intelligence is reaching into all corners of financial services, and that obviously includes payments. MasterCard is reporting it has introduced a new solution that uses AI to generate a risk score. So, a risk score. So, I'm assuming that's similar to a credit score, a FICO score, a Vantage score, right? For the transactions to evaluate the legitimacy of the person on the receiving end of a digital payment. The move comes in the wake of real time payments and the official introduction by the Federal Reserve of its FedNow service. I'm really interested to see what happens with that FedNow service because if that opens up to just about being the back end for all banks to use, I mean, we could see that integrated in things like SoFi, right? Because SoFi natively doesn't support Zelle, right? And that's what the big banks uh, brought into existence and created. So while it's good news for those making or expecting payments, it has also opened the door for fraudsters, making it easier for crooks who impersonate an individual or company to trick a person into sending money and then to escape with the funds, known as authorized uh, push payment fraud. So I love when we have a technical term that they give an official stamp, a term on this. So it's called authorized push payment fraud. It's really tough. Every time, like for example, I'm selling something on Facebook Marketplace. We got some furniture we want to get rid of. We sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Initially, if you asked me a year or two ago, hey, just cash at me, just Venmo me the money, I'd be like, hey, no problem, just send it to me that way, thinking that there's no problem there. But now we know that you can easily be taken advantage of and send the money, and then they somehow do a reversal or they'll basically file a claim or put a stop payment of sorts with their bank, and then now you're out of the money. Basically, they got the item for free. So that's a real problem. That should have really been thought through before offering this to to all of us consumers who are using these for peer-to-peer payments. Now, really, these peer-to-peer payments are only good for like friends and family now. I guess I feel like they have so much more potential, for things like that. If you have a little side hustle, or you're trying to, do some work for somebody, or you're selling something small, it's really good for that. But if you can't guarantee that you're going to get payment, that's a huge risk that you're taking. I know Cheryl, Cheryl, you always said that you want to send a $1 test payment over peer to peer first before sending the whole amount, because you want to make sure that they get that whole payment. If you're sending $1,000, you don't want to just send it to some random person on accident. So I do like that they're trying to target, in improving that aspect. So we'll see if AI, artificial intelligence, is going to do some great things in the future, but hopefully this is going to be one of them. Next, the surge in credit card delinquencies might be a harbinger of coming recession. So, late payments on credit card balances are rising, and that could be a warning of sign of difficult times to come in the U.S. economy, according to a Wells Fargo story. And strategists at the bank pointed to credit card delinquencies surging among commercial banks. And for banks outside of the top 100 in asset size, late payments on credit card balances hit an all-time high. Rising late payments put more pressure on small and medium-sized businesses. And strategists said during a time when markets have been increasingly concerned about bank stability and rising debt levels in the US. In August, Moody's downgraded several US banks, with S&P making similar moves on Monday. Meanwhile, credit card debt also notched $1 trillion, yes, 1 trillion bucks for the first time in early August. So, listen, these delinquencies are going sky high. That this is going to be a real problem, right? If you're We saw this happening with the Apple Card and the issuer of that card, which is Goldman Sachs. Traditionally, Goldman Sachs is a high and lofty, very well known and successful, bank, but they have a problem when working with these delinquencies when they're offering their product to so many people, and so they're getting hit hard with that, and a lot of losses coming. And it's really a bad optics too. It's not a good look, as they say, what's happening with them. All right, so buy now, pay later fintechs pin hopes on plastic cards. So this is kind of a new development, and this is really interesting to me. U.S. consumers juggle a growing array of payment options, and buy now, pay later fintechs are adding another choice to the mix. Buy now, pay later branded cards to use in stores. So, lender Affirm recently rolled out the Affirm card, a physical version of its 11-year-old online instant financing service, months after rival Klarna launched its own plastic Klarna card, or Klarna Visa. Block's buy now pay later unit, Afterpay, also has a virtual Visa card consumers can use to pay in stores. The moves come as the buy now pay later industry faces the growing likelihood of regulations that could rein in some of the freewheeling industry's practices, or at least require operators to report consumer borrowing activity to credit reporting bureaus to address consumer lending risks. So, yeah, I think that last part is really crucial because in the past, this buy now, pay later service, which it seems like something that you would want that good payment history being reported. And it's kind of weird because it's really very similar to a credit product. It is a credit product. And in the past, it wasn't reported. So you couldn't benefit, you couldn't build credit with this product. And most people, that's like the number one goal. As I've asked most people, one of your top objectives with a credit card is building credit. All right. And then on top of that, building credit, your number one goal is to qualify for a home loan at a good rate, and you want your dream home. So it's important that it has that functionality. But buy now, pay later seems to be here to stay. It's everywhere, and now it's kind of becoming ingrained. I saw a story about Gen Z. If you're in Gen Z, put a Z in the chat. If you're in Gen Z, shout out to Gen Z, the young folks here. Gen Z seems to be putting a lot of their spend on buy now, pay later within buy now, pay later products and services. So they're going to be largely affected by this. We're going to see Gen Zers walking around with their Klarna card paying for Starbucks, right? Is because they're using it to pay for small purchases like clothing. I think 40% of their purchase, their spend was used on clothing and they were using buy now, pay later. So yeah, I see you, Gen X. Alex is Gen X. You're welcome. You're welcome here. Next, Americans face an epidemic of loneliness. Oh, this is sad. For some supermarket self checkouts make it worse. Now, I have a lot to say on this because I've had a very recent experience, especially moving down south. All right. So, this year, in a stark warning about epidemic levels of loneliness and isolation, the US Surgeon General dedicated a section of his advisory to the effects of technology on social connection. All right. So, two-thirds of Americans said technology has made it harder to meaningfully connect, and nearly 70% said it has led to a decrease in empathy, according to a Play USA survey. Still, 66% of respondents said they would choose a self service kiosk, wow, over a human run checkout, often citing speed and a preference not to talk to anyone. My goodness. But there was a sharp divide along generational lines, whereas 84% of Gen Zers prefer self checkouts, the number dropped to 46% for baby boomers. So that's really interesting that different in culture there. I find myself preferring to go with a human to check me out because I'm going less frequently to the store, and I feel like if I'm gonna do self checkout, I'm putting in extra work and effort. So I need to get a discount. Give me like a 5 or 10% discount on my entire purchase, right? If I'm doing the work of scanning it myself, taking it out the cart, putting it back in, bagging it up. That's something that a person would be paid, who knows, 15 bucks an hour, whatever it is in your area to do that job. Now I'm doing the job. So like give me a discount. That's my thing. It's making it harder on me. I got a lot of stuff in my buggy, right? So maybe I have some big items. Maybe I got a whole case of seltzer water. But if I only got 3 things, which is rarely the case, then yeah, I'm gonna do self-checkout because it's gonna be quicker. But oftentimes, like I went to the store recently and the self-checkout had a longer line than the actual service checkout. So that's I have an issue with that. Stores, listen, if you're a store owner and you're somewhere, if you see this somehow, provide some sort of discount, like from some sort of incentive other than, hey, it's a short line over there. Give me an incentive to go use that self checkout, and and then we'll be better off. Now, here's the thing: I'm fine with complete self checkout in a situation like the Amazon Go store. That there you can just put it in your cart and just walk out. Now, I'm completely fine with that. You can charge me extra for that because that is seamless. That is quick. All right, next, the strategy behind Amazon's buy now, pay later push. So, Amazon Pay is doubling down on offering buy now, pay later to other retailers who use its payment service on their own site. This is going to be the next business. Amazon, they are smart. They're going to be, I mean, what are they worth? A trillion? They're going to be 2 trillion in no time doing things like this. This is going to be a big business for them. Just like Amazon Web Services. I mean, to be the backbone of basically a a payment servicer backbone for m who knows, tens of thousands of merchants, that's gonna be so much money for them. So, it has rolled out 2 different buy now, pay later programs to serve different customer segments ahead of the holiday season. Ooh, that's good. Ready for the holidays. The first allows retailers using Amazon Pay to offer their shoppers the buy now, pay later service. Affirm shoppers will see this as an option at checkout when they make a qualifying purchase. They can choose from pay in four plans, then have a 0% interest rate, or longer monthly payment installment plans that generally carry a flat interest rate. The second program is for those who have Prime Visa and Amazon Visa credit cards. Those card holders will have a new buy now, pay later option that lets them avoid interest charges. So, listen, these banks are cunning, they are clever, they are genius level because they know how to still get the same money from their customers, but they give you different language, a slightly different scheme, but with deferred interest payments, it doesn't matter if they give you a 0% interest loan. If you don't pay the complete purchase off, if you don't pay that balance off by the 6 months or the 12 months they give you, they still get the whole interest payment back like it was never set up in the first place. Listen, that's why they spend big bucks to get people in there to make these plans. They essentially say they must get at a round table and say, "Listen, how do we get the same amount of money or more, right? How do we get the same amount of money from our customers, but make it look different? Let's just make it look different. Let's offer them something brand new, but you're still paying the old payment." They are so good at that. Now, reports show consumers prefer to use debit cards for most purchases. So, a new report from JD Power US found debit cards are used by more consumers than any other form of payment at the point of sale, with 78% of consumers saying they use debit cards for the majority of their purchases. However, the report found consumers on average tend to use at least four different methods of payment at varying times. The report found that 74% said they use cash, 66% use credit cards. That's a shame. It needs to be close to 100% there. 36% that they say they use gift cards, and 28% said they use buy now, pay later. That's a lot. That's a big portion right there. We might see that rise next year. So merchant apps and payment by check were cited by 20% of consumers, with just 7% using digital payments like Zelle or PayPal, and only 3% saying using cryptocurrency. Who's using crypto? Who's, especially now in the crypto winter, who is using cryptocurrency to make their purchases out there? Where can you even use that at? Let me know. Educate me in the comment section, and let me know where can you use crypto to pay for anything that makes sense. Can you pay for toilet paper with crypto? The report found that 55% of consumers use non-traditional payment methods in the past 90 days, with the majority of those being digital payments and buy now, pay later options. So JD Power names the best cards are best credit cards and finds rewards are less rewarding. American Express defended its crown in the annual JD Power US credit card satisfaction study, claiming the top spot for the fourth year in a row and the 13th time in the 17-year history of the report. Discovered tied for second, continuing its string of finishing first or second every year since the study's inception in 2007. All right. Bank of America joined Discover in that second place dead heat. In a new twist, JD Power awarded honors to specific credit cards as well. In the no annual fee category, the blue ribbon went to Capital One Savor One Cash Rewards credit card. That is very interesting. A Capital One card won for best no annual fee credit card. That's surprising because there's so much, you know, there's so much hate for Capital One, I think, in our, credit card enthusiast community that it's kind of surprising to see one of their cards. But from what I've seen, that is the preferred card of users. They do like the Saver one. I would love to have the Saver one myself. Unfortunately, they didn't let me downgrade from the Saver card that has a $95 annual fee. So that is a shame. They've happened. I said this on a recent video. They actually treat the Saver One card like a kind of a separate division or a separate product. It's really hard to get into. It's hard to product change into or upgrade to. And I've seen other people have the same kind of experience with that. And they said the Discover It student cashback card was next, followed by the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express. One thing I want to know with American Express, you might know that they have, I mean, the best customer service from what I hear. I know I've phoned into their customer service about 2 or 3 times on the business side, and it has been good. It's been noticeably better for a commercial bank. They do focus on customer service. They're quick. I think they're based in the U.S., so that's really good to see. Amex does hold up to. They definitely lean into providing more value in giving you a good relationship, giving you a good feeling when you have to, you know, get help from them, calling the customer service, get something done. You can really count on them. Now, in contrast, I see a lot of people really moaning and groaning about Chase customer service, and that's kind of surprising because you would think such a travel focused credit card issuer would be really would be really good on the customer service side. So it's really weird to see you know a credit card issuer like Chase that's the largest in the country, that is seen as a premium, but you have to really be a high qualifier to get in the doors there. And like, why is their customer service lacking? Why is it not getting awards? That should really be something that they turn around. And Alex said the Amex. Really, that's very interesting. Alex says the Amex customer service center is in uh, SLC just up the street from me. Wow. So you probably know some people that work there as well, right? I bet you they pay well. I bet you it's like a really nice job to have. Also, the Chase Freedom and Freedom Flex categories were released for Q4, and it's going to be PayPal and wholesale clubs and select charities. So PayPal is great. You're going to get 5% back. Up, I believe the limit is $1,500 of spend. It's going to get you a maximum of $75 in cash back. So that's good to see PayPal, just because as I mentioned earlier, it's accessible. They have PayPal buttons everywhere online. It's pretty much the de facto um, payment method, like alternative payment method for every checkout process in any store online. So that's going to be very effective. And wholesale clubs is big because if you got your Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, Target, those are huge. Like I just went to Sam's Club, and people are spending hundreds of dollars at Sam's Club, and you're going to be able to recoup that cash back pretty fast, pretty fast there. Now, a lot of people don't know about that. And I'm actually going to be discussing this in my new video I'm working on. Uh, and that's Chase Freedom. If you don't know, there is actually an older Chase Freedom card, the original. They call it the OG Chase Freedom. It was discontinued back in 2020, I believe. And so that they stopped accepting applications back in 2020, so about 3 years ago. But it's still active because if you have like a Chase Sapphire Preferred or a Reserve card, or you can actually downgrade into a Chase Freedom card. And so that's actually a Visa card. The Flex is, I believe, a MasterCard. So there's some things that you can do. You can actually have like 3 different Freedom cards and kind of set it up in different ways that really benefits your spending habits. Next, let's get into Capital One. So this is the big news. Capital One must have put out multiple press releases. They're making some big changes now. So the Capital One Venture X card, and I have a link below if you're interested in Capital One Venture X. You want to learn more on how to apply for that card. I have that card. I like it. But they're now offering a 90,000 mile offer. Okay, so when you sign up, you're going to get 90,000 miles. That's kind of equivalent to $900 in travel value. And so you're going to earn 90,000 bonus miles once you spend $4,000 on purchases with your new Capital One Venture X credit card within the first 3 months from account opening, which is great because that's I mean, I think this is a historical high. I think this is the highest it's ever gone. So this is literally the highest amount of bonus miles that they offer. Traditionally, they offer 75,000 bonus miles, and that's what they were offering when I signed up. So this is really a good deal in, you know, before this holiday season. This is a good time to launch it too. Definitely take advantage of that. And it's a metal card. You can get, you know, I think up to 4 different authorized users, and they also can bring in their own yeah, two people into lounges for free when you use the Capital One lounges or the 1300 plus lounge network they have access to. Okay, I was corrected here. All right, thank you, sir. You said Matt Clausen said it launched at 100,000 points. This is the first elevator offer since. Okay, 100,000 points. That's nice. So listen, 90,000 points. You know what I've seen from this credit card? Thank you for that, Matt. So what I've seen with a lot of credit card companies is that they'll cycle these out every few years. And so we'll definitely see that 100,000 point offer again, or this, even if this 90,000 point doesn't last for, but usually a couple of months, we're going to see it again, but it's just going to be maybe 2 years or so before you see it another time. Next, Capital One VentureX business card is now available online with 150,000 mile bonus points. All right. Or yeah, 150,000 mile bonus. And this actually has a really good feature and change that Capital One has done for the first time I've seen. I'm gonna talk about that after this. So Capital One has introduced the Capital One VentureX bonus card or business card, which is now accessible on their website for eligible business owners. This card offers benefits such as earning 2x miles on all purchases with no redemptions restrictions, 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights through Capital One Travel. New cardholders can earn a welcome offer of 150,000 bonus miles by spending $30,000. That's a ton of money. So you better be, have a real business going on, and you're making a lot of orders, and you're flying the team out, right? Maybe you're chartering a private jet, then maybe you can get this. Um, you can qualify for this bonus offer because that's a ton of money. All right, $30,000 or more in the first 3 months. That's a short amount of time. It's 90 days. Notably, Capital One won't report business usage to personal credit bureaus for new VentureX business customers as long as their account remains in good standing. That's the big deal here, because traditionally this was the big knock against Capital One. It's because they were one of the few um, business card issuers that will report that usage to the personal side. And if you don't know, the real big problem with that is that if you're using a business card a ton, and you put $30,000 worth of purchase on there, and they then report it to the personal side, it could really mess up your credit utilization rate. And if you don't know, your best possible credit utilization rate is going to be uh, kept under 10%. So if you have $1,000 available credit limit, you want to keep that at $100 or below, preferably even lower than that in the single digits. But here's the thing: if Capital One's reporting all that usage to the personal side, which they have done traditionally, then that's really going to throw your utilization off. And if you listen, from personal experience, I've seen my utilization just go up by a few percentage points, and my credit score for the month would just drop down by like 15, 20 points sometimes. So it's really important to keep a close eye on that. And it's good to see that they made that change. And it says this card comes with an annual fee of $395 and requires an excellent credit score. It's a pay in full charge card with no preset spending limit. So this is a big change, a big deal here, because as I know right now, they don't have. I don't believe they offer any other charge cards that I know of, but I'm not too familiar with their business lineup. But this is similar to the Amex Business Platinum or Amex Business Gold card. This is a charge card. So that means is that you have to pay that balance off, that total statement balance off every single month. There's not going to be, if they might have an option for you to revolve a balance, but that's not going to be the standard practice. And there's no preset spending limit, and that doesn't mean that you don't have any limit that you can just spend $1 million in charges to the car for 30 days, that just means that they're going to be looking at your history. They're going to be looking at your credit score. They're going to constantly monitoring your probably through algorithms because they're like a tech company, right? Capital One is basically a big tech company at this point. They're going to use the computer algorithm to monitor you, make sure there's no big fluctuations or changes in your behavior. And as long as you fall within that range, and they're not going to tell you what that range is, you can go pretty high, relatively high on your spending. But just know that they're still if you go far outside of that range, they're gonna rein you in. Credit card companies are good for that. They're gonna, you know, Amex is big on doing their financial review, and they will review you. They'll probably have something similar, and they're not just gonna let you rack up endless charges with their card. Next, Capital One Lounge opens at Washington Dulles International Airport tomorrow. So Capital One is opening a brand new lounge at Washington um, Dulles International Airport. The 8,500 square foot lounge, inspired by the airport's historical terminal design, offers amenities like workspaces, a coffee and pastry bar, and more. Wow, I want to listen. I want to visit this place. I got to go to Dallas and take part because I haven't. I still have yet to go into a lounge yet. So I definitely have to get that experience that I have the Venture X. This is nice. All right. So it's accessible with the Capital and Venture X Rewards credit card, Venture X Business, Venture, and Spark Miles customers for free, while others can enter for $65 per visit. The lounge is open to same day flight passengers. It features a locally sourced food and beverage program, including grab and go and sit down options, as well as a full service coffee bar. So, sustainability and regional art are key elements of the lounge's design. And this expansion follows the success of Capital One's lounge at Dallas Fort Worth International Airport. So listen, Capital, if you got to expand where those lounges are built out from, because we need those in other areas. Like bring that to Charlotte. All right. I'm in Charlotte. So bring one of those lounges to Charlotte for me, please. Okay. I want to visit one quicker, sooner than later. But it's definitely good to see them build that out because that adds more value to the Venture X card. Because right now, it's very limited where their lounges are. They don't have a wide network of lounges like the Centurion with Amex. So it's good to see that they are on it and offering more lounge access. And also, the VentureX new travel credit redemption is a nerf disguised as a service. All right. So, this is the deal, right? This is where I'm saying that they sort of nerfed the VentureX. Capital One just announced that the $300 travel credit for VentureX will no longer be issued as a statement credit. Instead, you must apply it directly to your booking to reduce its cost. The primary reason is a nerf is because you can no longer earn rewards on the purchase that the travel credit covers. You would previously earn between 1,500 to 3,000 miles on your travel credit purchase, depending on whether you were booking flights or hotels or cars with it. This feels pretty bad. I hope this decision doesn't stick. It's definitely making the Venture X look like a worse option when compared to the competition. So I think that it's a shame because they're basically. I saw a few people stating that it 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 kind of makes it tougher to use. Obviously, you're not earning points, so it's eliminating any extra points that you would be getting from the purchase, and you might forget about it, right? Because the fact that you have to, maybe that was your last trip for the year, right? And you're not going to be traveling for another few months. Well, previously you'd be able to, it would be a statement credit, so it would just be applied to your next bill, and so your bill would be $300 less, and so you would immediately be able to recoup that statement credit. But now you actually have to travel again. You have to do another trip, pay more money, and you get that later. So it's unfortunate, and I really hate this kind of like death by a thousand cuts situation where they're constantly like doing these slight changes. So you have to, I mean, it's great to talk about, right? Because they're constantly in the news, doing press releases, but you really have to stay on top of things. Otherwise, you're gonna get into the portal, and you're like, wait a minute, I got a statement credit last year, and now it's something different. So I think, do you think that this is a big deal? Is this a really bad nerf for Capital One for the Venture X, or is this like is this no big deal, right? Is this are we making too big of an issue about this, or you know are we overreacting about this, or is it just listen? It's just a shoulder shrug. Let me know in the comments. Danny says the nerf. I hear you, Danny. Danny, do you have this car, by the way? Do you have the Venture X? You listen, Dan. You have like 35 cars, man. It's Venture X is probably one of them, right? Benny says it's a $30 nerf, so not a big deal. I'm taking that as not a big deal. Not to set with that. I'm happy that Capital One. Let me enlarge. I'm happy that Capital One decided to offer. Hold on, guys. Let me get that off the screen. Okay. I'm happy that Capital One decided to offer a higher sign-up bonus at the same time. So they kind of did a switch out. So like, you know, instead of getting a bunch of bad press for nerfing the card, they're able to offer, hey, listen, we just gave you a huge new bonus, the biggest one that we've handed out since we launched the card. So that was pretty good that they did it in that way. All right. Okay, guys. I guess I want to talk to you about. Let me go to the right slide here. Let's go to the next one. I just want to let you guys know if you haven't been with me for a long time, I do have a couple free, just completely free products that you can take advantage of. I have a credit limit increase cheat sheet. It has links to all 10 credit cards that show your credit limit before it has strategies to increase your credit limit. 12 different strategies. You have to update that. And you can increase your hold on. Gotta get this right. That's the old one. Okay. So yeah, so I have links to a credit limit increase cheat sheet in the comment section. Let me update that, guys, for you. All right. And then I also have a fix your credit for free course. So if you want to take part in the course, I just released that. It has 3 different modules. I'm working on the 4th module. Basically has 4 step process to repairing and rebuilding your credit, more than 20 actionable strategies and tips to dramatically increase your credit score, word for word templates to take guesswork out of the credit repair process, and you get lifetime access with any updates and revisions. And here's the thing, I plan on updating this and adding video sections to every module, every course in there. And so I'll be adding that over the coming weeks once I build it out. But it's just a quick course to really get you up to speed on how you can, if you have a lower credit score than you really want, you're in the 500, 600 range, and you really want to elevate and you want to get access to a lot of these cars that we're discussing tonight, then you want to repair your credit. It basically goes step by step, walking you through that process. And it comes with template sheets. So the credit repair letters, and for all these different situations, if you have to, if you're asking for forgiveness from a furnisher or a credit bureau, or if you're trying to negotiate for a lower payoff amount, it has all that in there. So you can take access to that. That's in the pinned comment on the stream. So definitely take a look at that. So we got about 70 people in here. Welcome to everybody new. Thank you for being in the chat. Now, has anyone got approved for a new credit card in the past week? Have you gotten a credit limit increase? I definitely want to shout you out and recognize and see where the action is. Who's handing out those high limits, you know? All right, Danny boy, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate you, sir. And happy birthday. He says, I turned 38 last Sunday and congrats on 34,000 subs. Thank you, man. Man, you always notice. I really appreciate that. Um, definitely goes appreciated and noted. And man, 38, that's 38 years young. Congrats on the birthday out in LA. I'm sure you did it big. All right, CJ, my my niche neighbor, my creator, uh, my creator neighbor. He said, I've been approved for the Capital and VentureX last week, $20,000 limit. Whoa. You know what, CJ, I think I did see, I'm glad you jogged my memory. I think I did see a headline, one of your, I think your most recent video, you talked about this, right? Congrats on that credit limit. That's huge. And a lot of people don't know that so many people are bashing Capital One. But listen, if you get approved for their premium product, then they are willing to hand out super high limits, 20,000, 30,000, even. Um, that's huge. That's very, very high, close to my limit. I actually, when I got approved for the card, I had like an $18,000 limit because I did a product change. So I was so you're starting out better than me. Congrats on that. That's 20K. You can do anything with that. I mean, how far can you go with 20K? You can pay for any trip. You can pay for a trip with the whole family, right? Capital will make sure that you can charge the most on that. All right, Q Smith. What's up, Q Smith? You said got approved for a Chase Sapphire Reserve at $20,000 and 900. So $20,900. My thing is, why don't they just give you a $21,000 limit, right? Why do they give you like that uneven number there? You got to look at that. You want to just give me an even 21,000. But congrats on the approval. Are you a big traveler? Let me know, where's your next destination, Q Smith? Where are you going next? How are you going to use that Chase Sapphire Reserve? Now I'm thinking. So speaking of the Venture X, I do have to tell you guys. Maybe I forget to mention this. I actually got a credit limit increase on my Venture X as well. So I'm at. I posted this in the community page. I believe I'm at $24,000 limit on that card. And I should really make a video about this because I've been able to increase that limit about four, maybe five times over the last 12 months. So, I know that I'm in a more favorable credit bucket, but I think that's really telling because, most people think that you need to wait 6 months to increase your limit. But I've been testing every single month. And I started out with my Quicksilver card at a $15,000 limit. And then I've been able to increase it from 15 or $16,000 all the way up to $24,000. So, almost a $9,000 credit limit increase in a matter of a year or so. Really big for Capital One, I think. And the thing is, Capital One, I've only been able to get a $1,000 increase maximum with Capital One. So expect that to be the maximum. It seems like. Um, uh, it might change for some people. I think maybe with lower limits, you're able to get larger increases. But for me, at this point, I've only been able to get $1,000 increases. Every time I ask for a $30,000 line of credit, because I know that's kind of the threshold for most folks that the Capital One will give you. Cheryl, thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate you um, uh, paying attention to that. Yes, I posted on a community page. Hey guys, I got a question for you. What was your favorite like news story today? What was the like the best topic that we talked about or I covered today? Or is there something that I should be covering in the future? Just give me your thoughts. Anything, I'm welcoming all thoughts here. Pink Polo, is it Pink Polo 85? Thank you. You are I am very appreciative. Thank you for the super chat. You say just got the Amex goal with $20,000 dollars worth of spending power. Woo! After only having the Hilton Honors Amex for 2 weeks. Wow, they're handing out a bag like that with Amex? That is a lot of spending power. So I know the Amex Gold is a huge card in our community. The earnings, the everyday earnings are so popular. So congrats, Pink Polo, on getting that 20K not limit, but 20K spending power. I love Amex. You know what I love about Amex? I have a deeper appreciation for Amex. Not on the personal side because I'm team cashback. I'm openly team cashback. I don't really wade into the waters and into that into the deep waters of points redemptions and conversion rates. I don't get into that cashback. But on the business side, I find that Amex offers some really compelling options. I mean, I have two business Amex cards, so I definitely appreciate them for that. All right, CJ says, "I have a love-hate relationship." Why do you have such a why is it hate? Why is there hate involved with Amex? Why do you got some hate that going on there? It should just be love. It should be all love, right? Now, does it have something to do with the financial reviews or the pop-up jail situations going on? Is that what you're referring to? And Cheryl, Cheryl, thank you so much for the super chat. You're so generous. You say, keep up the good work. Great show today. Cheryl, appreciate the love and yeah, I'm gonna be back on here next Sunday, 7 p.m. like usual. Everybody, next Sunday, 7 p.m. I'm waiting for a response from CJ if you're there. Why the hate? Let's talk about it. All right. So CJ responded. He says, now, bro, Amex gave me a $2,000 limit on their Blue Business Plus and a $3,000 limit on the Hilton Honors. My goodness, that is pretty low. Now, listen, this $2,000 and $3,000 could be good for a lot of people. Now, I know that I'm not sure what your other limits are, but I'm assuming that that's much lower. Um, I find that I was able listen, with my Amex Blue Business Cash Card, I initially started out with like a $10,000 limit, and then I was able to quickly just jump up to $17,000 just like within I think 90 days. So I definitely could see you doing the same thing. I could see within just a matter of a few months shooting up. But that's kind of weird, right? That they start you so low. That's kind of weird. You know who else did that to me? US Bank did that to me, with my, on the personal side with the US Bank Cash Plus card. Started out with like a $1,000, I think it might have been a $500 limit, but after 6 months, they jumped me right up to 7,000. So, I think sometimes these credit card issuers, for some reason, you fall in their algorithm in a weird spot, and you fall into a category where they just wanna see good performance for a little bit, and then they'll basically match you up with, what your typical, limit usually is. Wow, Pete Bolo says, "They only gave me a $1,000 limit for my Hilton Honors." Yeah, that's tough. And what are you gonna do with I thought to myself, "What am I gonna do with a $1,000 limit? If I need to buy something for the business," I mean, some of these things can be $1,500, $2,000. you're putting me, before I could be understanding, like I'm just going to use it for small purchases, but we're not going to the grocery store with these business cards. Like we're buying equipment, we're paying for, maybe you pay for a contractor or something to, you know, these business charges can be pretty high, lump sum charges. So it really ties your hands up. Yeah, Pink Bolo says, I literally make payments every other day. Yeah, you have to at that point. It's basically like what are they the technical term I think is a an everyday charge card, or you basically have to use it like a debit card. If some of these different credit card products will actually debit your account, kind of similar to Extra or some of the products with Upgrade, they will actually debit your account, your checking account on an everyday basis, and that's essentially what you're doing, but on a manual case. But yo, guys, it's been super fun this weekend. I hope you enjoy your weeks going forward. We're gonna be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. Check the pinned comment for the links. I got products for you for free. Take advantage of that, and I will see you next Sunday. Have a good night.